We are live. It is your favorite girl on rocks, of course, and we are here for episode 3 of Feed the DJ podcast. Just a few announcements before we start this episode. I am not 100% feeling well today, you guys, but I still showed up for this episode, so if you hear my voice being a little raspy, don't kill me, all right? I showed up, still had to make the show go on. So we're here. And this is actually our first episode on Feed the DJ where we have an in-person guest and a virtual guest. So I'm very excited. And our virtual guest is all the way in Phoenix, Arizona, which is so cool because, as you guys know, this show is all about the stories of DJs, producers, and artists from New York City and beyond. So we've been manifesting this. And it's happening. And it's only episode 3. So that means that we have so much more in store for you guys. So if you are subscribed to the show, if you follow us on social media, thank you so much for your support. Because if it wasn't for you, I don't know how we would be here. Send this show to a friend, share it to a DJ, and let's keep the party going, shall we? If you have questions for myself or for my special guest, you can always send them over to the Instagram or the email. The email is feedthedjpod@gmail.com. And then, of course, at feedthedj_podcast. So follow, and send those questions in because you can be featured on the show. For today's episode, we do have a DJ news segment, of course, and I just wanted to announce that Feed the DJ is now available on iHeartRadio app. So you have another way to listen to the show, so you have no excuses. With that being said, today's DJ news segment is the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Award nominees that have been revealed. The actual award show will be on April 1st, which I think is actually kind of funny because it's like, so everybody that they said won because it's April Fool's Day, actually they didn't win. That would be kind of funny. And there's new categories. So some of the people that will be getting nominations this year are 21 Savage, Beyonce, Billie Eilish, Blink-182, Corinne Leon, David Kushner, Doja Cat, who I love, Drake, Dua Lipa, Fall Out Boy, Foo Fighters, love the Foo Fighters, Grupo Frontera, Ice Spice, Jelly Roll, Jungkook, Karol G, and more. I'm not even about to sit here and list all of those names because your girl's voice is crack-a-lacking today. But a lot of great artists on there, and some of the nominee or award categories are Song of the Year, of course. They have a new one, so Pop Song of the Year. Another new segment would be Pop Artist of the Year. Artist of the Year, Duo Group of the Year, Best Collaboration, Best New Artist, Country Song of the Year, Country Artist of the Year, Best New Artist for Country, Hip Hop Song of the Year. You see where I'm going with this. So that is the DJ news for today. The iHeartRadio Awards will be happening in April, and you can see all of the people who might be up to win these awards on iHeartRadio.com. But before you go check out that article, you can listen to Feed the DJ podcast on iHeartRadio as well. I had all guys on the last episode, and I just had to get some girl energy going here. You know what I mean? My first guest is Alexandria, or better known as Alex the Producer. She was born in Buffalo, New York, and she's 26 years old, black female producer currently living in Phoenix, Arizona. Alex went from being known as the church girl, being raised in a Christian household, to finding her own identity as a well-rounded music producer and musician. With gospel music being a part of her roots, Alex incorporates the uniqueness of that style of music and creates her own sound using hip-hop formulas and beats. And up next, we have Jackie Mon Amour. Is a captivating host known for her role as the presenter of the monthly show Copacabana Mon Amour on Maker Park Radio, which we'll be talking a little bit more about on today's episode. With a DJ style that is thoughtful, eclectic, and full of surprises, Jackie curates a musical experience that spans across genres such as international pop, rock, hip-hop, dance, and electronic music from various eras. Her ability to seamlessly blend diverse sounds creates a dynamic and engaging atmosphere for listeners, making her a distinctive presence in the world of radio hosting and special events. Yeah! This is my first time using the soundboard today. I'm very excited about this. So I have my guest here. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Of course. Alex, hi. You guys, this is the virtual and in-person setup. I absolutely love it. And we have some amazing questions for our guests today. Can each of you share a bit about your background and how you entered the world of music, whether as a DJ or as a producer?
So I don't even know how I'll live up to the description that you gave me. It was so fantastic. Thank you so much.
You.
Make me sound like such an illustrious figure in the music industry. You know, I actually had my first radio show when I was in college. I was at Wagner College, WCBG. Yeah, that's what it was called, WCBG.
Shout out to Wagner College.
Yes. And my show was called Songs from the Atomic Age, which is the name of an album by a band I really like called Oppenheimer Analysis. So I was really into like electronic 80s music, synth pop around then. And that's just what I played on my show. That's the kind of music I was obsessed with. But I have always loved like all kinds of music. Like at the same time that I was obsessed with 80s electronic music, I was really into Brazilian music, really into like Afro-Brazilian beats and samba. I was getting really into hip hop, like just like US hip hop, all the different, you know, G-funk on like the West Coast. And then, you know, I was just interested in sounds and places and history and stories. So I think that's what kind of drives my interest in music.
Alex, tell us a little bit about how you entered the music scene and where you are now.
So I kind of already come from a music background. My mom was a pianist for her church, and I guess that talent just kind of fell on me as well. I didn't know that piano was something that I would even be interested in until like she started preaching and all that, and they needed a musician. So I would just dabble around, you know, just playing whatever on the piano or the keyboard, and just kind of went from there. I'm self-taught. I kind of just play by ear, if that makes sense. Just like whatever I hear, I try to play that out on the piano, basically. But I think music has always just kind of been a part of like our family in a way. Like that's just kind of how we all, I guess, bond.
I love that. I mean, I would definitely say I'm the rebel in the family. My mom is a nurse, my dad's a fireman, I'm a DJ. Like, you know, they were like, can't you get like a city job? I'm like, no.
I think the three of us have that in common.
What are or who are some of your shared musical influences, and how do these inspirations shape your projects or your live DJ set?
Oh, you're one of my inspirations.
Thank you.
And I don't mean that to sound cheesy. Like, you just being local on the scene, you've shown me, and I can't believe it's only been a little more than a year that we've been friends.
I know.
But you've taught me so much, and we've both grown so much in this world and beyond it.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of gigs together.
Yes, we're a little duo for a minute.
We
you
were
guys.
all over the place too. We weren't just like doing these Staten gigs. Even, you know, love and respect to our homeland.
Yes, Staten Island all day. But you got to branch out.
But we were all over the place, and you taught me how to negotiate. You taught me how to talk to clients. You taught me what questions to ask.
Yeah.
And also your style. And also you've taught me some tips and tricks. I remember coming to your place with our controllers, and you have that really cool pink boombox.
Yes. The landlord was like, turn that shit down.
That did happen. I would just want to shout out my really, really dear friend, DJ Eyes of Ruby.
Yes.
Angela. She's a huge influence on me. She actually really influenced the playlist that I'm going to play. Yeah, so I always call her my DJ fairy godmother, because she also taught me a lot. And she just showed me, like, this doesn't have to be your life, but it also is your life. Her alter ego. And like,
absolutely.
And that's kind of the kind of life you have to be living, because you're not just like a DJ sometimes. You're always scoping out like new music. You're always connecting with people and seeing what kind of project you can do next.
And Alex, who and what inspires you to make the music that you do or to make the projects that you work on?
The music industry in general kind of inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing. Just from my perspective, I feel like there's a lot of hidden messages that aren't as positive as they should be. in
agree.
like some of today's mainstream music. And I feel like the type of music that I make is like what I was saying in my bio. I kind of incorporate gospel into like a hip hop or a trap kind of beat, but it's kind of what the music industry is doing in terms of how they can bring in negative and all these evil things into the music industry. I'm trying to do the opposite and bring light and just like, positive chords and but also make it sound decent. So I think just kind of adding like a positive impact to the music industry is what's really keeping me in this industry, or is what's keeping me like trying to do this basically. Right, and I'm not saying
Love
like,
that
oh,
song.
you gotta be all holy and all that stuff, but it's like when you start getting into like kids singing along to these like satanic songs and stuff like that, and we play it on the radio and stuff like it's just supposed to be the norm. It's kind of like, what happened to everybody just being, having fun, like singing along to it, but no like evil hidden message behind it. If
Yeah.
you,
Can I respond to also not like music that's on the radio, but for a totally different reason? Because I mean,
yeah, yeah,
considering the music I like I definitely like things that are overtly satanic and dark, but that's because
oh,
I just like so many different things. But I do have to
yeah,
say what you were saying about how you like to take this like gospel influence and like apply it to trap beats, because like as much as I like the sound of drill music, of trap music,
Yeah.
like it makes me upset to think about like that people whose lives are caught up in violence and in drug use,
mm-hmm.
and we've lost a lot of these young artists.
I appreciate you for wanting to be a positive
Yeah.
light in this music industry. And I think it's really good for us to get it out there and keep inspiring. So thank you. For the both of you, please walk me through your creative process. So how do you initiate a project, and what does your workflow look like from idea to completion? So that could be creating a beat, and that could be creating a set list or a playlist, or even preparing for your radio show.
Usually, well, I come up with ideas basically throughout the day. Just like I'll start off with just some basic drum beat playing in my head, and then I'll think of some chords that I think would go along with it, and then kind of set the tone of what I want the track to be about.
Yeah.
Like, do I want it to be more like uplifting? Do I want it to be like more chill or something like that? And I just kind of lay it out on my DAW, like FL Studio is what I use. And um, I just kind of dabble around with the chords a little bit, just, do a little bit of finger warm ups on the keyboard and stuff like that, and add my own beat behind it, and then just take it from there.
Awesome. And what does your surrounding look like? Are you someone who's creating with a bunch of people around you? Are you in dark lighting? Do you have a candle burning? What is the scene?
So I don't really, it's more of a spontaneous type of workflow. I know I should dedicate more time into making music. And I'm not trying to say that, oh, having a 9 to 5 is what, is draining me from doing that. See, I really try not to like make that the major reason why I don't
Yeah.
want to get up and play and produce something. But it's more so I kind of lose inspiration a little bit, like having to work those long hours and
Oh,
stuff.
of
So
course.
I'm not really thinking of what my next project should be.
Yeah.
I'm so focused on, oh, I need to pay these bills. Let me use all this energy and all
Right.
this dopamine just to get through the workday. And then I come home and it's just like, I just want to have the rest of the day to myself and the music will take care of itself. But I can't really expect that if I'm not doing my part in
That is so
actually
real.
producing something.
Thank you. Thank you for touching base on that. Because I feel like
Yeah.
everybody tries to make it seem like all the time, like,
Yeah.
yay, yes, let's go. I have so much. I feel that. Like, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I can hardly walk into my apartment. Like, I'm crawling at this point. You know what I mean? So
Literally
I can
be.
definitely relate.
So I just try to find this balance between
Yeah.
that and actually dedicate a certain amount of time to like my dream, which is like
Yeah.
being a like well-known music producer. But that's not, I can't get there without letting go of, that 9 to 5 job, basically.
Yeah.
So I was mainly just trying to get out of that mindset of, let me put my job first before my dream.
The way that this economy is, and we're in New York, like, everybody got 4 and 5 jobs over here. Like,
yeah, I salute you guys for even setting up the podcast, really. Like,
thank you.
I've got a couple jobs as well.
Yeah.
I found it interesting what you said, like, I got to use all my dopamine to get through this.
Yes. And all my dopamine is gone by like 11:30 on a Tuesday.
I think, like, it's important to try not to, I try my best to not look at my job, my full-time job, as the center or like the focal point of my day.
Yeah.
I actually, the past couple of weeks, I've been super busy and I have completely put music on hold. Like since my last gig in December, I haven't, and I did have a radio show. And I had a wonderful guest. Shout out to Flip, Westside Flip.
Yes.
Philippe L. Jones, a man of many names. Yeah, so he was on my show. We played some vinyl. It was really fun. Shout out to Kitty, the disc jockey.
Yes,
who
Kitty.
plays at Craft House, and I did a vinyl gig with her, and so I was having fun with that at the end of the year. But I've been totally not thinking about music, and I haven't been sleeping very well.
Yeah.
Because I've just been, I took on a lot of projects.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it.
This is the Bailey Funk Queen of Staten Island.
Yeah, I love Brazilian music. But today, when you had mentioned there was going to be a set at the end, I was like, okay, so like, what am I even listening to lately? Like,
right, what am I feeling right now?
What am I feeling? Because like, what do I want to play? Like, because that's the format of the show. You know, you're not requesting any particular genre, so it's truly just like what inspires me. So I have to say, like, I'm really feeling a retro 70s, 80s, funky disco boogie woogie vibe. I love it. That's where I've been at.
You have to show up every day and like give it your all for your regular thing, but also to make sure that you have enough energy to make it to your 12 or 11 p.m. gig on a Tuesday.
Right,
you know?
right.
Or even when you're creating a beat and it's taking hours and you're up all night trying to make it perfect. You know what I mean? So given your eclectic style and your unique sound, how do you fuse your individual styles to create a cohesive and dynamic musical experience?
Thinking about clients, I guess, because we have different audiences, right?
Yeah.
Like Alex, do you make beats you work with particular artists right now? How does it work?
I don't really work with, I mean, yes, I have worked with an artist previously, but it's more so they tell me like what kind of sound they're looking for. So for instance, I did have an artist that wanted me to do like an R&B type Bryson Tiller type beat. So they'll throw in an artist, like a mainstream artist or something like that, and I'll just, honestly, it's like, it kind of takes away from my originality a little bit when I want it to sound like this specific artist. Then that kind of throws off my whole creative thing, because now I have to sound like this person, not necessarily my own style.
I guess like for me, and the question was something about like, what do I think about with my audience? You know, I did something really fun this year that I want to do more of, by the way. I hope people from Staten Island are listening. So Kitty, the disc jockey, actually gave me this gig. She was supposed to play vinyl at this christening.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was so stressed this day. It was also a day where like there was a parade, and the parade like made me so late. I was so upset, but also like, I was like, oh man, I totally forgot the parade was today. I should have gone. But
I think, you know, that gig was something that's a lifelong memory. So there's pressure with that. You know? Like,
well, because it's his christening.
Right. Like, if you mess this up, they're going to remember this shit for the rest of their lives.
I don't know if the little guy remembered, but I was nervous for this gig because it was a high price. They were going to pay me a pretty penny to do this. Yeah. And Kitty had recommended me. So it was like a couple different things where I was just like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to mess it up. Like, what do you think they're going to want to hear? And I was
right, like asking, a christening. Like, what do we...
Exactly. And it was at Marina Cafe. So I was thinking like, okay. And based on the baby's name and the client's name, and I was like, they're Italian-American. Yeah. So like, maybe they'll like some Italian music, but like from what era? There's obviously going to be all generations there. There's going to be grandparents there. There's going to be kids. Yeah. There's going to be their age group. Their like millennial age group. Like, what do they want to hear? What's going to make everybody happy? And so I thought about it, and it scared me, but then I ended up having a lot of fun with the playlist, which was like a mix of American, like English language, like 70s funky music, but then also Italian music from that era. And then like Italian, like Euro dance tracks from the 90s that they also
This party sounds lit.
They loved it.
Right?
They went crazy. Like they were they
were like throwing the baby around and shit.
It was exactly what they wanted to hear, but it's not what they told me they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Like I listened to what they said, and then I like translated it into what I think they actually
Right. And then reading the room.
Yeah. In the room. And like, and then people ask, like, and I keep things in my arsenal that I know people are going to ask for. So yeah, it's a lot of considerations, but I had a lot of fun with that one.
Sure.
If one person is moving and singing, I'm good. Like,
And all night, because there's always that one person all night that's like, and I'm like, as long as their shoulders are moving, I'm good.
if I see the shoulders moving at the bar, like before it's filled up, I'm like, yes.
All right, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Have you tried your hand at music producing? And Alex, have you tried DJing? Have you dabbled in these things?
I haven't tried DJing, but I have dabbled in like the retro scene and different sounds I've been trying out, and I was just like, this would sound good at a nightclub or something like that, even though it's like out of my element. If I just start like using some synths or different sounds from that genre, I'm like, this could actually, I could probably do some DJing with this. But I've never really thought about doing that, honestly. Like,
do
to
you
be
ever
completely honest,
like take a song and like do like a remix of it, like try
Yes.
to make your style? Okay,
Like
so
mashups?
it's kind of like that's advanced DJing.
oh.
She's in. She's in.
Yeah,
She's
no.
with the crew.
I always think that you'd be better at it, like because you probably
Because you
just have-
make it, so you really know the essence of these songs.
You were saying earlier like self-taught. I'm like me too. Like I don't really. I just like music, and I think those sounds go good together. And then I have someone like Angela over my shoulder being like, "Oh my gosh, those match perfectly," and I'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
Have you tried mixing or making your own music?
Well, I've made a couple mixes. I've sat down and it's kind of like a fine line between you're just transitioning between two songs, but then you end up making like a new sound, like a new track.
Yeah, right in that nice
just,
little
like,
sweet spot.
Let it rock for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've made some mixes like that, and I've totally like tried to do things before. I've made music with friends, but I like now that I know how it actually works, I'm like, oh no, I haven't done anything for real yet.
Well,
To
my
me, like,
main thing is, like, I know you can like drag and drop. There's a lot of producers that are, I like to call them drag and drop producers, but I like to actually play out something because I don't like to let my like talent go to gaslighting. I don't like to let my talent go to waste because I know how to play piano, so I would love to incorporate that and actually producing something with it.
Yeah.
Like instead of just having I guess pre-made samples and just making something out of that, I would like for it to be original and chords that I came up with and adding a beat behind it to keep my originality.
And so for each of you, can you please share a personal career highlight that you are particularly proud of? So what is a peak that you've reached that you like pat yourself on the back for?
Getting
invited to this podcast.
Aww.
I can honestly say that. Thank you much.
Thank you. I was actually nervous. I was like, and then I didn't realize you were from Phoenix. I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
So thank you. That makes me so happy.
I was just shook that I even got a message from you saying, hey, you want to be a part of the podcast? I'm like, how did you find me?
When I made the Instagram, it just started suggesting a whole bunch of producers and DJs and artists, and I just was like, let me just go for it.
So yeah, that's definitely an amazing start to this new year, honestly. Like just being a part of this episode is like, wow, what an amazing start.
Actually, so not this past summer, but the summer of 2022.
Yeah.
I partnered with Maker Park Radio to plan an event. We called it Brazilian Music Sunday, and it was an event in Maker Park, which is, so there's a couple different organizations here. There's Maker Space NYC. Yeah. They have a location here in Staten Island, and then on Front Street here, as well in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, at the Brooklyn Army Terminal. So they have these two spaces, and then within Maker Space Staten Island is Maker Park Radio, which is a separate entity, and they have their own radio station, and it's sort of a setup like this one. This one's really nice, though. Hub 17 really did something beautiful here. Thank you. Maker Park Radio.
Shout outs to Kristen and Tom.
Yeah, shout out to
we
Kristen
love you guys.
Tom, DB and Scott from Maker Space, Kristen and Tom from Maker Park Radio, and they together, these two organizations maintain Maker Park. They have concerts there in the summer. So we planned Brazilian Music Sunday, and I just hustled. I also didn't know anything about planning an event, like planning a festival size event. And then we planned Brazilian Music Sunday. I was really proud of this because we had a 7-piece samba group, we had a 3-piece foho group, and then a band of almost over a dozen percussion group called Mambembe. Wow. And it was beautiful. There were dancers and people came from all over the city. There was Brazilian food there. I'm really proud of myself for doing this because
that was awesome.
Now that I know all the work that it takes, because Kristen did a lot of work to make sure it happened. I mean, most of the work. Now that I know what it really takes, I'm like, wow, I don't know how I did that. and I want to do another one. I wanted to do one this year, but I was way too busy with my job and so many other things. And
it's quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
So take your time.
That's
you want it to be great.
That's an important lesson we should all learn as artists, especially in the fast-paced, constantly producing things, constantly putting out new things world that we're in. We produce much better quality work if we take our time. I've learned the power of sleeping on it. Yes. Recently, sleeping on something, a challenge or a problem, or even something positive, a good idea that you're trying to work out. Sometimes just.
I slept on this podcast. I came up with this idea last year, September, October. Yeah. I was trying to rush it and just get it all down, and sleeping on it and just giving things a second thought sometimes is good. If I can add, my biggest peak of what I'm proud of is being one of the DJs on the Pride Parade float with L'Oreal and God's Love We Deliver in 2023. Yes. It was amazing. Your girl felt like Beyonce, for real. It was insane. And not even just being in New York City on a float with thousands of people cheering to the sound of my voice and to the sound of the music that I'm playing, but it was just the organization, the detail, constant communication with the organizers. They gave us shirts, they gave us food, they made sure that everything was set up. There was speakers, there was a sound crew, everything was set up. It was incredible. They were also so welcoming. We got there, they were taking pictures with us and saying, oh, do you need anything? And so that was definitely something I'm super proud of. And it was a great time. And we were in the front. And I didn't realize how short that parade actually is. Yeah. But it was awesome. So I would definitely say that's one of the things I'm proud of. So all of us definitely keep up the good work. Mm-hmm. Keep up the good work. Yes, no matter what that looks like. For me, this year, I'm definitely focusing more on being Girl in the Rocks, the media personality. So the media personality has always kind of been secondary and DJing be the first. And this year, I'm interested in changing that around a little bit. And I think that's cool, So, and you guys tell me, because if it's not, just let me know. I'll shut
You're
this
doing
shit down.
An amazing job. Because you're doing fine.
Thank you. As women in the music industry, or even, if you will, the nightlife industry, have you faced any specific challenges, and what advice would you give to other aspiring female DJs or producers?
Don't let mainstream artists or producers intimidate you. Develop your own sound and stay original. Do not be a duplicate of anybody else.
I agree completely. Sometimes I'm down on myself for not being a full-time fashion model Bushwick DJ girly.
Same.
All the all the people in New York, but like it's all okay. It's fake. Everything is fake. But,
yes.
Like no one has an ideal lifestyle. No one has figured out the secret balance.
Yeah.
You know, like you know what works for you and what is balanced and what is good for your life. Like you'll feel it. So I feel comfortable and satisfied with my work, with my image.
Yeah.
And
Staying
I don't
true
want
to yourself.
anything. Yeah, and staying true to yourself is you'll never go wrong if that's what you do.
Exactly.
Around this time last year, I almost stopped like completely DJing. I wanted to cancel my show on Maker Park Radio, and I wanted to just like cancel all the gigs I had planned because I was no longer with my partner at the time. My
This was a time.
partner.
This was a time,
Yeah,
you guys, and I kept like, no.
Yeah.
We're going out. We're DJing.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
You really stepped in, and you became that support because I was so used to his support at all the gigs. Like it just makes you feel safer to have a friend.
Yeah.
And like what friend is always there for you? Like your boyfriend, right?
Right.
Usually, typically.
And your bodyguard, low
yeah,
key,
so
you know?
that's what he served as for a while. But then I realized that my friends can do that, and I can do that for my friends.
Absolutely.
Like I've definitely been that person, been the photographer, the bodyguard, the roadie for my friends, and then my friends return the favor. Sometimes there's times where I don't have a friend to help me, and that's when I spend the extra money on the Uber home, and I make sure that my communication with the venue and with the promoters are really good, but you never know what to expect. Like you never know if they're not going to pay you at the end of the night, or
Oh wow.
you know, or
Really?
like something, you know, they don't have the equipment ready for you.
Yeah.
That
There's a lot of
they're putting
surprises
pressure
when you
on
get places. Yeah.
Maybe my piece of advice is always make sure that someone cares about you in the
Yeah.
situation, whether it be someone you brought with you or there's someone at the place that you can trust. But you just can't go somewhere where nobody gives a shit about you. You don't want to be helpless. You don't want to be in a situation where you're helpless. But at the same time, you have to be careful, again, especially in the nightlife and music industry where there's lots of, you know,
People who expect something
illicit-
in return.
Yeah.
illicit things happening, fun but illicit things happening. You just have to be careful. And then there's also getting caught up in the party lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, I know. If anybody,
Me and Dalia this year.
I know. We get carried away.
There's not really a rule book for it. It's a very unregulated thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're not on like anybody's payroll. We don't have any rights. We're just like, someone's going to hand you some cash and you're going to play at a party and it's going to be
Literally
cool or it's not going to be cool. And make sure somebody cares about you.
And
make
I think
sure somebody
all of
knows
these,
when you're going to get home.
Yeah. And I think all of these nuances go into knowing your worth.
Yeah.
And building prices around these things, you guys. Sometimes there's going to be some security measures that you might need to pay for. You got to add that into your price, you know. For getting home late from a gig, you need to add in that Uber into your pricing.
That $75 Uber
Yeah,
from
like
Bushwick to Staten Island. Can I say something kind of random?
Yeah.
You look really beautiful.
Thank you.
I agree.
That's funny.
I agree.
Thank you so
completely.
much. It's so funny because I was asking Kenny, like, do I look ashy? But
What?
we're here. And
What was the verdict, Kenny?
he said no. He said it looked good. You know, also, I was wearing all black for the last few episodes, so I think wearing this nice bright color helped. Thank you guys so
You're
much.
glowing.
Are there any other resources or tools for the both of you that you find helpful in your journey as a music producer or a DJ?
Shazam. I mean, yeah, like I definitely have a super wide base of knowledge when it comes to music. So when I hear something, I'll be like, oh, this is that song from this time. But I am a big fan of also just like whipping out the Shazam.
Always.
And asking who's ever playing the music.
I don't know why. Whenever I Shazam something and I'm close to the DJ, I always turn my brightness down because I don't want them to be like mad that I'm stealing their music.
And totally like there's no such thing as like stealing music. Like no, but for real, like I have a complex about that too, like playing a song that a friend showed me, but
But if they're in the crowd, I'll be like,
this one's for you.
yeah. And what are some tools that you think are really helpful when it comes to producing the perfect track?
Definitely just, I know this sounds very basic, but just going on any music streaming service, whether it be YouTube or Spotify or Pandora or something like that. If I'm looking for something specific, I'll just type it in. I'll even type in like Mozart or something just to get like the classical piano thing, just to get my, you know, what do you call it? Like the engine going or something. Yeah, just to get that going. And then there might be like a certain 5-second part of that one composition where I'm like, I could do something with that and just chop it up into different samples and then make something decent out of it. But yeah, just listening to different types of music and seeing what kind of genre I want to produce for that day.
Do you use Rekordbox? Like every time I open Rekordbox, it's always like update me, and I'm like, again?
Yes.
Every single time I open Rekordbox, it wants to be updated.
What kind of music tool is it?
It is a platform that like formats files. So like if you want to play on a CDJ, for example, that runs on Rekordbox software, your files need to like be exported, like imported to and exported from Rekordbox software. Yeah. And that formats the files so that when you go to play like on that controller, you'll see the BPM, you'll see your cues, anything that you set. Cool. Yeah. So, but it's also Serato is a really commonly used one as well.
Serato's my home.
But then there's like a lot of like things like people sort of shame DJs who use Serato.
I know.
What's this deal with that? I don't really understand. I guess because it's very like easy to use and basic, and is like the more basic and like simpler kind of equipment, and you know, like everything needs to be on expert level or else you're fake or whatever.
That doesn't
like,
make you any less of a good DJ if you use equipment that actually works and you don't have to like go I don't know, like go expert on it like you said.
Maybe it just also has taken time for the software to develop. So Serato rolled out this year this beta program called Stems. And you're able to like break out the drums and vocals and
recently
piano.
Tidal removed that.
So Tidal,
you can't use Tidal
which
tracks
you can
on
use
Stems
to stream on Serato, has like revoked Serato's permission to use their tracks on the Stems program. So you can still run Tidal through Serato. I'll just play vinyl, like from my records. My favorite thing is to go home and put on a record. I'm not like playing my Tidal or Spotify playlist in the house. Like I'm listening to one album all the way through that I love a lot.
Right. I actually touched base on that in the last episode, how the future of DJing, a lot of people are going back to retro trends. Yeah. And just like going back to the basics of music. Are there any upcoming projects or collaborations that you guys have coming up that you're excited to share with the audience here at Feed the DJ?
Flip asked me to join Foreign Posse. Yeah. So just, I don't know what it all means yet, but he made me a jacket.
I saw the jacket.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's exciting, and I like the idea. First of all, I tried to start my own DJ crew and kind of had this idea of like a music, fashion, art collective with my friends called Island Girls, because we live on an island. And I like being part of this group because it kind of just makes it a little bit easier. I'm not so invested in DJing right now. Yeah. I'm really busy with my career and traveling and whatnot. So I like that I can be part of this group, and if they organize something, they can invite me to join, and I won't necessarily have the time right now to be like looking out for gigs and trying to.
But you can still
money.
Support in different ways.
Yeah. But I can be part of something, and I can DJ when I'm needed. And I'm going out and partying a lot less. I haven't at all in January.
We're growing.
And I haven't, it's not like a dry January or anything. Like, it's just me being exhausted from December. So yeah, I'm excited about the Maker Park Radio schedule this year and just the new show. And
tune in to Copacabana Mon Amour.
Yes.
And Alex, what do you have going on that you would like to share to the audience?
Well, I am currently working on some compositions. I'm kind of switching it up a little bit. So instead of leaning more towards the production side, I will be doing more piano compositions.
Nice.
Whether that be me playing behind a track or just having a whole piano piece that's maybe about 5 to 7 minutes of just a whole composition. Doing something different.
If I could just squeeze in this random story time.
Please.
I'm going to tag her in this. She probably don't even remember me. But back in the day, I was in piano lessons. Ready for this? My teacher was Ingrid Michelson.
Oh, wow.
I remember we had like 4 lessons. I just think that's a funny story. So Ingrid, if you're watching this, I'm gonna be doing some more research on Phoenix, and I'm coming out there. What is the nightlife like in Phoenix?
I'm gonna be completely honest. It's just a bunch of like crackheads and drugs and stuff. That's me being.
I would have never
honest.
thought.
Like, it's not.
Is there like a downtown, like a cool spot, like cool spots that people go to? I actually don't really know too much about Phoenix either.
You're fine. It's if you go to Tempe, that's more of like the college scene and where a lot of and Scottsdale if you're feeling fancy.
I am so happy to have both of you on the show. I am so happy to be friends with you in real life. And I'm so happy that I was able to just put my fear and my anxiety to the side to reach out to you, Alex, because you have been an amazing guest and really opened my eyes to a lot of the things that the producer world holds. And being a DJ, I now feel like I can appreciate that more. I think that the producer and DJ relationship are very close, but there are very big differences too. So thank you both so much. This is episode 3 of Feed the DJ, Feed the Producer. Follow us on @FeedTheDJ_podcast. Ladies, please plug in right now your Instagrams. Of course, I'm going to have all of your information in the description below. But if you could just let everyone know where they can listen to your music or find you for your next gigs. And then Jackie is going to close out the show with a live DJ set.
I currently use my main Instagram, which is Jackie, JACKIE _Mon, MON _Amour, AMOUR.
I love the way she says it. I don't say it like that.
And then my email is Copacabana Mon Amour. So Copacabana, just look at
Copacabana.
the hottest party stuff.
I had my after prom party at the Copacabana.
Oh my gosh, you know I've DJ'd there.
Really?
I DJ'd a Brazilian Halloween party.
Broke my toe there.
Last year, not
crazy.
2020 in 2022. Yeah, definitely gave me like underage drinking vibes. But please hire me again. No, my Linktree is Linktree/Copacabana Mon Amour.
Awesome. Alex, where can they find your music and see more of you online as well?
So you can find my music at my Instagram is AlexTheeProducer. That's ALEXTHEE and producer. And my YouTube is the same, Alex the Producer.
Of course, I'm your favorite girl on the rocks. This is the one, the only, the exclusive state-of-the-art Hub 17 NYC studio. This is the podcast studio, which can also be changed into a photo studio. We have our art gallery upstairs, and we also have our event/theater space upstairs as well. So if you guys are interested in bringing your creative ideas to life, this is the #1 place in Staten Island to do so. Today was such an amazing interview. We really unpacked a lot, and I hope you guys come back for another episode of Feed the DJ. I don't bite, I just DJ.
Cada dia que passa, mais dia que passa. Pra onde o destino me leva, eu não sei. Eu ando pela cidade, speed racer. Pela cidade, mete 5 cor de prata em alta velocidade. Em alta velocidade. De dentro do meu carro eu vejo a chuva, o sol, o vento e as nuvens dando voltas na lagoa. E eu penso, a vida nem sempre é boa. A vida nem sempre é boa. Até por ruas mais estreitas ou por grandes avenidas, cruzando viadutos e túneis. Passam-se dias e noites, passam-se dias e noites. Rasgando o espaço eu sinto o sol batendo em minha cara. Eu tenho a força e sou veloz no Mete 5 em alta velocidade. Em alta velocidade. Cada dia que passa, mais dia que passa. Pra onde o destino me leva, eu não sei. Eu ando pela cidade, speed racer. Pela cidade, Mete 5 cor de prata em alta velocidade. Em alta velocidade. Dentro do meu carro eu vejo a chuva, o sol, o vento e as nuvens dando voltas na lagoa. E eu penso, a vida nem sempre é boa. A vida nem sempre é boa. Até por ruas mais estreitas ou por grandes avenidas, cruzando viadutos e túneis. Passam-se dias e noites. Passam-se dias e noites. Rasgando o espaço eu sinto o sol batendo em minha cara. Eu tenho a força, sou veloz no Mete 5 em alta velocidade.
liegt eine neue Zeit. Träumt sich die Zukunft leer, hofft auf die Wiederkehr. Weit fern, fort von dir, ab von mir und weg von mir, ich komme. Weit fern, fort von dir, ab von mir und weg von mir, ich komme. Weit fern, fort von dir, ab von mir und weg von mir, ich komme.
Devenir carré. Devenir carré.
One man on a lonely platform, one case sitting by his side, two eyes staring cold and silent, shows fear as he turns to hide. We fade to grey. We fade to grey.
Un homme dans une gare isolée, une valise à ses côtés, deux yeux fixes et froids, montre de la peur lorsqu'il se tourne pour se cacher.
We fade to grey. We fade to grey.
Sans la pluie comme un été anglais, entend les notes d'une chanson lointaine, sortant de derrière un poster, espérant que la vie ne fût aussi longue.
We fade to grey. We fade to grey. Feel the rain like an English summer. Hear the notes from a distant song. Stepping out from a backdrop poster, wishing life wouldn't be so long.
Devenir carré.
We fade to grey. We fade to grey.
Splendido, splendente, l'ha scritto anche il giornale, io ci credo ciecamente. Anestetico d'affetto, io avrò una faccia nuova grazie a un bisturi perfetto. Invitante, tagliente, splendido, splendente. Splendido, splendente, costa poco e finalmente io sorrido eternamente. Amo un camice innocente, si avvicina sorridente, è padrone già si sente. Perdo i sensi lentamente come tra le braccia di un amante. Splendido, splendente. Sono splendida, splendente, io mi amo finalmente. Ho una pelle trasparente come un uovo di serpente. Come sono si vedrà, uomo o donna senza età, senza sesso crescerà, per la vita una splendente
just noise at disco speed. I hear the playback on my midnight radio. It is the only thing I ever need to know. I hear the playback on my midnight radio. It is the only thing I ever need to know. It seems so unimportant, and still we need you so. Short-wave gratification, called midnight radio. It seems so unimportant, and still we need you so. Short-wave gratification, called midnight radio. You were my first love, and still I want you so. My midnight daydream on the distant radio. I hear the playback on my midnight radio. It is the only thing I ever need to know.
Guardavo il vino che sulla fuori tutta la notte si giocherà. Lasciati andare, dimmi che vuoi, potrai sognare, sognare, sognare. Guardavo il vino